Congratulations!
Hey, we're here. We're still queer.
We're still queer.
Fuck.
We're back on our regularly scheduled podcast.
Yeah.
And so excited to be here. Definitely not super tired from the exhausting. It's only the middle of March, and I've got till the end of May, to be honest, with all the shit I have to do, but definitely to the end of April, so definitely gonna make it. Buying a house is hard. A lot of things.
You're gonna be gray before, like,
I'm gonna be gray, or I'm gonna murder my fiance. One of the two. We're gonna murder each other.
And then you'll be on My Favorite Murder.
Stop promoting other podcasts on this podcast.
But I love them. They make me laugh.
I know. Yeah, I know. How sad would it be if we did murder each other right before our wedding? You know? Like, they
would have me as a guest, so I wouldn't be that upset.
You still don't even care that Samantha and I have killed each other, and you're just like...
Excuse me, does anybody have a hometown murder they'd like to share? Yes. I have been a long-time listener, and...
I have the best story, my best friend.
He went crazy, and he killed his fiance, and then just went on a crazy spree, and it would have been great.
I'm sorry, I can't do that. But hey, there's still time. There's still a month.
Samantha, I love you, and I would never want that to happen. I'm just saying if it did happen.
He just wants to be on My Favorite Murder. Oh, God. And I just want to be married.
You want another espresso?
No, I don't, because then I'll never sleep. I want to be married and living in my house. I want my children to all be at least 12 years old. And
why are you trying to fast forward so many years?
This is so much work. I'm exhausted. I can't do it. I can't do this for so much longer. When we went to visit my sister a few weeks ago, you know, I told you, like, she's got this baby. You have to feed the babies every 3 hours. Nobody ever told me you had to feed babies every 3 hours. Never knew it. I just thought you could put them to bed. They're going to sleep through the night. You wake up, you feed them every once in a while when they cry. But no, every 3 hours you have to feed this thing. That's ridiculous.
How did, like, mothers back in the day know this?
How did mothers survive? How has any mother ever survived anything?
And imagine being a single mother, like, on top of that.
How did your mom do it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Of marijuana. No.
She's never smoked in her life.
She worked her ass off as a hairstylist, which if you're a hairstylist, that's a fucking busy job. Yeah. There's never any time to rest.
Oh, yeah.
You're fucking combing, brushing, cutting, coloring. You're just like, go, because you have to get these people in and out as fast as you can. The more people you do, the more money you make. You just gotta go. Yeah. And fuck that. I got my license, and then when I got to a salon and I saw that, I was like, I'm gonna go take a desk job.
Yeah, right?
A nice desk job.
You sit down all day. I don't know. So when my dad died, my sister was like 2, my brother was 3. Or maybe they were a little older. Maybe they were 4 and 5, and I was 8. Mm-hmm. And she takes 3 kids, moves them from South Carolina up to Indiana, joins a cult, and that was stupid. But she like worked that whole year, took care of 3 kids on her own. Like she took care of us all while my dad was sick and dying in the hospital, and she's taking care of babies. I don't know
how that's so much. So props to all you mothers, and
yes.
Especially to you single mothers, because...
Yeah, you guys are the real heroes. My other sister, she's got a 3-year-old that likes to hop around and he thinks that he's a dog or a cat, and I don't know where you're going with that identity crisis, but... props to you mothers.
And single dads, too.
All of you people taking care of kids. You're the real heroes, because...
I couldn't fucking do it.
They're monsters. They're monsters.
I can barely prevent my cats from eating everything. Like, I don't know how I would keep it out of a child.
I can't prevent my dog from eating everything. He just shits and eats whatever he wants, wherever he wants. I'm pretty sure he's eaten the cat's poop on several occasions. And...
and you let him kiss you with that tongue.
I do. I don't let him lick me on the lips, but I'll let him, sometimes lick my cheek occasionally. Yeah. He's so cute, though. I can't help it. I think that's the thing with kids. They're just so cute.
No, he looks like a rat.
No, he doesn't. And you're being rude to my little Stewie.
He does, though.
Okay, so he looks like a rat, but he's a cute rat. Yes, he is. You want to get in a fight right here? We won't even do this podcast. You're going to come on here and you're going to insult my dog like that. How dare you? Yeah, I'm looking at you. Anyways, we should move on. So, make sure you check out our mini-sode, and we had last episode dropped on Sunday, so we dropped 2 episodes if you missed them. If you were like, I thought you guys just disappeared, we're back.
We didn't disappear, we're here.
We're here.
Life got crazy, and then the computer decided to not save our files.
Computer took a shit on us. Also, if you want to, you can subscribe.
That's the word.
Subscribe to our Patreon. We really appreciate your support. It helps us keep this podcast running, and we can do so much more. So please, if you're able to go and support Patreon/Your Queer Story, we really, really would
join us and become a queer stan.
Yeah, queer stan.
Upgrade from queerstan to queer stan.
Yeah, which is a hardcore fan.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anything exciting this week?
No.
No?
Very easy tonight. Very easy week for me. Oh. Very, very simple. Working and resting because I was sick for like 2 weeks, and this has just been like a calm week for me.
Yeah. Not for me. I'm getting our mortgage approved for the house, inspections, last minute things, all this running around, getting the house ready, meeting with the wedding venue this weekend to go over our plans for the reception. So
yeah, one of the hardest things about buying a house is coordinating times where the realtor and like everybody else is available, while also around your schedule and whoever you're buying the house with is scheduled.
Oh, I know.
Because it's like
all these people having to coordinate the things. Like, we've had to remove our inspection twice because the seller got sick, and then there was a huge snowstorm.
Right. But think about this: your fiance. The two of you already coordinating things is hard enough.
Yep.
Throw in a realtor. Then you got to throw in the buyer's realtor and possibly the buyer. That's 5 people whose schedules have to fucking align.
The inspector.
And you're not working a 9 to 5.
No.
So, like...
it's fucking nuts.
Yep.
So, it's a good thing this house is going to be worth it, because it's a beautiful house.
It is a nice house,
like
yeah.
And
I'm coming to many backyard parties.
Oh, yeah, you get it. Yeah. I'm excited about that yard, because I can just throw my dog out there and let him run free.
Yeah.
And that's it. And, I don't know.
Hopefully there's nobody dead buried in the backyard of this one.
Yeah, like the last house. But who knows? You know what? I don't care. It's not deterring me this time. We're having this house regardless of how many dead hookers in the backyard. So, today we are going to talk about secret gay societies, kind of-ish. So, like, I told
Somewhat.
Paul... It turns out when you start researching secret societies, there's not a lot of information out there.
Evan thought he was going to go to search up a secret society. They were going to have a web page, like request membership.
One of these societies does have a web page. I want you to know. So anyways, which also I just realized I've already forgotten how to say that secret society.
I told you we weren't going to remember.
We're going to remember. Carry on. Canona?
It's not even a word. You just said sounds.
I will get to it. Anyways, but it wasn't that easy. So it's like secret society / the gay mafia. A couple of groups that fall within gay secret societies, but it's not that much of a secret. And hopefully you're not disappointed. That's what I have to say about this episode. I enjoyed researching it, but not as near the information that I thought I might come across. We have to say that most of this episode is highly speculative and should be listened to more for enjoyment than for actual history.
Think of it as an ASMR episode.
It has nothing to do with ASMR. Think of it
My voice is ASMR friendly.
Think of it as an enjoyable topic that's got a lot of conspiracy, a lot of fabrications, a lot of exaggerations. Because that's the story, that's the truth. Like, the Illuminati, right? Like, what do we know about the Illuminati?
It's just fun to listen about.
Exactly. So, so as is the case with most secret societies, we don't have a lot of concrete evidence to support these claims. However, it is still fun to dive into the world of conspiracy and mystery. If you want to do further research, your recommended resource for the day is Homosexual Secret Societies by Michael Hone. This author has written a lot of fun books on mostly gay male history, such as Rent Boys, A History of Ancient Times to Present, Homosexual Boarding Schools from Plato's Academy to Princeton Rub, and Roman homosexuality, and a lot more. So Michael Hohn's written a lot of books on, like I said,
that must have been a good job.
Writing about gay history. Yeah, that would be one of my dream jobs in the future one day. But yeah, he's got a lot of them, and a lot of them are online for pretty cheap. Like you can get a used copy for like less than $10. Mm-hmm. So you should check it out. Good author, well reviewed. And many, many more. We do use some of his work in this episode, but also we pull from a variety of sources. So, without further delay, let's hit our first society.
The Order of the Carionia and the Sacred...
Carinea? I think it's
Charonia.
It's not Charonia. It's Carinea.
And the Sacred Band of Thebes.
Thebes. That one is just Thebes.
Thebes. Our first story consists of a secret society that seems to be founded on the story of another secret society.
Yeah.
Originally founded in 1893 by George Ives, the society still continues today, though not quite as secretive as it once was. In the late 1860s, a German lawyer named Karl Ulrich...
Ulrich.
It has an S,
Karl Ulrich.
Had publicly come out as a homosexual and denounced the criminalization of homosexuality.
Which people said he was the first European to come out. I think it depends on what you consider as, like, coming out.
Because everybody was just doing everybody, so...
Exactly. This is the late 1860s. I don't think he was the first one, but people are like, the first guy. Mostly...
This is the first homosexual in history.
Exactly, right here. 1860? Yeah, right. Okay. I'm sure.
So, as well as the medical diagnosis of homosexuality as a psychological disturbance.
That's what he was denouncing.
Yeah, he was denouncing that. Ulrich's open speech and flagrant prints put Europe in an uproar. In order to convey a vocabulary that positively describes homosexuals, that's my cat, sorry, Ulrich coined the word Uranian.
I never heard of it before this study. They made it sound like
you just know it.
It was just a common. Everybody said Uranian back in the 1800s.
I think they just made that up.
I don't know. Yeah, they're just like Oscar Wilde said it. Walt Whitman. Everyone was saying Uranian.
Everyone who was anyone was a Uranian.
Like in all my personal readings and at least a year of like studying queer history, never came across the term, but here it is.
So, Uranian actually referred to a person of a third sex, originally someone with a female psyche and a male body who is sexually attracted to men. Because a man just can't be attracted to a man.
Absolutely not. It has to be a woman in a man's body.
Absolutely.
Because we're all really straight.
But at the same time, this is kind of like... Would they be more accepting of a transgender person?
Well, yeah. Well, that's
because
the thing.
They're like this. Well, you're actually.
Well, that's what fucked up a lot of people because for a long time there's the term gender variant,
mm-hmm.
And it was, okay, so like a woman in a man's body, and so for like when like the time like Christine Jorgensen comes out, people were able to accept her as a transgender woman better than they were able to accept gay men because of this idea of like, well, if you're a female in a male's body or vice versa, that explains why you'd be attracted to the same, actually opposite sex. It wasn't until later when people started to accept homosexuals that then people are like, well, we have to hate someone. Let's hate the trans people. And it's been this vicious cycle of like, who can we hate now?
You always got to hate someone. Somebody's always got to be the lesser.
That's right. You always have to be better than someone in order to get anywhere in life.
So this later extended to cover homosexual gender, Uranian, variant females, and a number of other sexual types. So it was kind of an umbrella term.
Yeah, it was. And so while the word has no place in today's society, at the time, it was actually the most kind way that you could describe a homosexual.
Right.
Because what he's doing is, we don't have we didn't even have the word homosexual yet, so he's giving vocabulary to explain in a positive way because as a homosexual you're just lumped in with all the criminals like, oh, there's a thief, there's a murderer, there's a homosexual, and so he's saying, look, there's some people are just gay or some people are just Uranian. Okay. So Uranian, you're like, well, what the fuck is Uranian? So it's from the German word Urning. And it's from the Greek goddess Aphrodite, Urania, who was created out of the god Uranus's testicles.
Oh, that's a very appropriate word.
Yeah, right? Yeah, but aren't we all created out of someone's testicles?
Yeah, that's
true. In
a
sense.
That's true.
Okay. Therefore, it represents the homosexual gender, while Dianine, derived from the Aphrodite Diania. So Ulrich's developed this terminology before the public use of the term homosexual, which didn't appear until 1869 in a pamphlet that was published anonymously by Carl Maria Kurtbeny. So now you know we're homosexual. 1869.
Yeah, of course.
So the words used are important because they allowed homosexuals across the continent to connect to others like them. Rather than being lumped in with the criminals, they could now seek out like-minded brothers and comrades.
Because they gave them an identity.
Exactly.
Two men who met in this era of enlightenment towards homosexual were Oscar Wilde and George Cecil Ives. Ives was so inspired by his new friendship with another Uranian that he formed a secret society to connect more homosexual men and promote the cause, aka the start of the gay agenda.
That's right, the gay agenda, the gay mafia.
The cause is stated as such. The cause is...
Please do that voice.
The cause is that of lovers who have been wronged due to the exercise of free consensual love with an emphasis on male lovers. I don't know why I went to like that guy from
that
Family
Southern
Guy.
Dandy, yeah.
You know the
I
one
know
with
exactly,
the mullet?
with the blonde hair. Yes, exactly.
Throughout history, our societies have condemned
Jeffrey.
a variety of forms of love. Either between individuals of the same gender, individuals from different societal strata, different nationalities, different skin color, different religious beliefs, or just different ideologies. I feel like I read better in that voice.
You
it's
do,
very
you
smooth.
read great.
I think it's because I slow down.
Yes, exactly.
Lovers have been prosecuted, humiliated, imprisoned, tortured and murdered by individuals, organizations, churches, and governments alike as
anachronistic.
As anachronistic as this may seem, this is still an ongoing issue.
The cause. So we're recruiting people for the cause. So the society was named after the battle where the male lovers of the Theban band were slaughtered in 338 BC. So the Thebes, the story of these soldiers, Theban soldiers, is actually more exciting than the Carrion. What is God?
The Shurianian?
No, it's not. It's Karanan. The Order. They're more exciting than the Order that we can't say. Karanan. We literally listened to it pronounced 100 times. So. We listened to how it was pronounced 100 times, and then we got on here.
I told you I was going to forget
forgot.
it. I literally told you I was going to forget it.
I felt for sure after hearing it so many times, it was going to sink into my brain, and it has not. So, this is the first secret society that we alluded to moments ago. The Sacred Band of Thebes was a troop of select soldiers consisting of 150 pairs of male lovers, which formed the elite force of the Theban army in the 4th century BC. So it's 300 men. They're all lovers. I don't know if there was mixing or
I'm
not.
sure at least some people
Well,
did.
yeah, how do you have 300 people together and they're just like, nope, we all have our one person and we're going to stay with this one person and that's how
I'm
it
sure
is.
some of them did, but I'm sure some of them
I'm sure there were some that played around. I'm sure there's a free love. So its predominance began with this crucial role in the Battle of Leuctra in 371 BC. And it was annihilated by Philip II of Macedon in the Battle of Chaeronea, what the order is named after, in 338 BC. So while we have a good bit of history on their military accomplishments, we have little information on the group of men themselves. It's very interesting because, so this group of men defeated the Spartans in the Battle of Leuctra.
Well, think about it. You're literally fighting side by side with your lover. You're not going to let them go down, and they're not going to let you go down. You are fighting for very fucking fierce. Everything.
Very fierce, exactly. But also, just to be able to beat the Spartans, they were the most elite, military group of the time, and these men beat them. But, contrary, while we have all this information on the Spartans, we know their traditions, we know their culture, we know everything, their family structures. We have almost nothing about this group of men, and the reason was that many authors refused to write about them at all. Yeah. And the ones that did would kind of skim over it and only wrote about their military accomplishments. Because they don't want to write about the group of homos that are living off, on themselves. There are a couple different statues and art from that time, and it's very obvious that they were lovers, but but other than being represented in a few pieces of art, there's like just almost no information about this group of men, which is sad because this was like the original secret society. This is as close as you're going to get to like the Knights Templar,
right?
And we have no information about them.
Hey Queerstians, do you own a business?
Are you an author or an entertainer?
And would you like a great way to grow your audience?
Well, this commercial slot could be yours.
For just $20 a month, we can advertise your show on our podcast.
And as a rapidly growing queer content source, we want to help get your name out there. So if you want even more promotion, you can just choose our $30 tier to get ads and links on our website.
And for only $40 a month, we'll review your product on our YouTube channel and link it to all of our social media.
So go ahead, send an email to yourqueerstory@gmail today or reach out to us on social media via Messenger.
And let us make your business a little more queer. Bye.
Bye. So regardless of their impressive lives, they're being forgotten, they still inspired George Ives to name his order after their final battle, the Battle of Chaeronea. So it's spelled Chaeronea. So look, the Order of Chaeronea, if you want to look more. So, in fact, the order was so caught up in the name and traditions of their society that Ives and other members dated letters and other materials from the year of the battle. So, like, 1900 would have been written as C2238. So, like, their dates started when that battle ended, rather than following the traditional Christian calendar.
Yeah.
This also aided as a code to keep the order and its members safe from discovery and punishment.
Smart.
Yeah.
But some members today claim that the order had always existed and was only revived when George Ives came along. In fact, on their website, yes, they actually do have a website, no matter what I might say.
Yeah, this is the secret society that has a website.
The group claims, the order is a fraternity of lovers, a religion in the most quintessential meaning of the word. Our mythic origin dates back to the year 338 BCE. As you read on through their site, it is apparent that they feel as though they have been around for almost as long as the story of Christ. And perhaps they have. It is always hard to tell the truth about these societies, because they're secret. However, if you want to join today, there is an initiation process. The order states,
membership is only attainable through the service of initiation. This is by invitation only. The novice must be of age and sponsored by an existing member of the order. And once the novice undergoes the service of initiation of his own will, he is bound to an oath. Membership to the order is the most private matter, even amongst members. I don't know what this novice has to do, but
I mean, you have to be of age, so.
But yeah, so something's happening.
Yep.
There's no such thing as a hierarchy inside the order, for we are all as equal. A member's worth is only measured by his own effort and virtue. Each initiate must master himself and always strive towards the improvement of his own self. Therefore, when the time comes when he has to act, or duty calls for his service, he will do so freely. Let his own conscience be the only judge. It doesn't start to sound culty until that last little line.
Yeah.
When he's called to act or his duty calls, he will do so freely.
Right.
I don't know.
Freely as in, hey, you better fucking do this,
Exactly.
or I guess you're not in the secret society anymore.
Exactly. Absolutely. There's also a handbook online that you can read, but they made it clear that they took out their secret handshakes and their secret sign language. So we don't know what that is because some things have to be private, but they put the rest of their handbook on there. So if you want to look it up and figure out how you can become an order member, you can.
But remember, you have to be at least 18 years of age. Or, whatever.
Of age.
Wherever that is,
So,
whatever that means.
Yeah. So, I don't know, whatever of age is there. So, yeah.
Well, it seems like a lot of fun, and maybe a little kooky, as secret societies tend to be. By all accounts, the order is relatively harmless. We could not find any instances of abuse or harm to members or others, like human sacrifice or anything crazy like that.
Who knows, though?
You never know. We even found some evidence that they had expanded to include a few lesbian members and branch out their acceptance, which is much more than we can say for our next group.
Yeah. The only thing I would say is what disappointed me about the order is that I don't think they do anything except for just get together. Like they're
It's probably just a big orgy party.
Probably. Like I
That's why you gotta be of age.
I was like, are you like doing charity work?
No.
Like, what are you doing in the community? No,
No.
Nothing.
Their initiation, you have to be of age because you're just gonna fucking be spit roasted by 30 dudes.
Exactly.
It's literally what's gonna happen.
And do so freely of your own free will.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay, because the next group makes up for it all. The Vatican.
My favorite kind of people.
Oh, yeah. So it's kind of messy here. So we're going to talk about the Vatican and the church, and you can't, talk about one without the other. So a lot of mixture. We're going to try to come back to just the Vatican, because the Vatican in itself, and I am convinced with all my heart, the Vatican, and I'm not talking about the Catholic Church as a whole, the Vatican, it is a fucking cult. It is up to its fucking eyeballs in secret societies.
Oh my god, yeah.
It is the most corrupt institution on the planet and has been for centuries, okay? No respect for the Vatican on my part. It is evil. It is abusive. Everything that you can think that is wrong in the world is in the Vatican. Again,
100%.
This is not this is not against the Catholic Church. That's like a billion people. This is about the Vatican, this one group in Rome. Okay. Yeah.
Few, if any groups, have been home to more secret societies than the Vatican. From the Sons of Temperance to the Knights of Pythias to the ever-mysterious world-dominating Illuminati. So perhaps we shouldn't be surprised that a secret gay society within the Vatican was exposed in 2014. The story broke when a former commander of the Swiss Guard, Elmar Madir, claimed a network of homosexual inside the Vatican could pose security problems for Pope Francis. Madir headed the Guard between 2002 and 2008 and told reporters directly, I cannot refute the claim that there is a network of homosexuals. I have not partaken in any homosexual activity. I have not partaken in any homosexual acts such as blowjobs or experiences. My experiences that I did not have would indicate the existence of such a thing. I made it up a little bit as I was going.
You made up a lot of that. Most of that is made up. But sure, yeah, probably.
No, seriously,
yeah.
I just happened to stumble across it.
I just happened to walk into a group of guys, and they were sucking each other off, and I didn't know how to get out of there without sucking a couple dicks so that I could get
They were all the way on the door.
You had
to grab them as you were on your way out, one after the
grab
other.
And grab and tug, and I was just trying to crawl through to get to the other side of the room.
It's like army crawling, and every time you move your arm, there's another dick.
All these cardinals lifting up their red robes so I could gab underneath. So what does any of that mean? So what he said is, I cannot refute the claim that there is a network of homosexuals. My experiences would indicate that the existence of such a thing. So this is a guard, like his job is to protect the Pope, and he's coming out and saying this. Now, not that any of us were really surprised. But what does it mean? So Mader went on to point out that the nature of the Vatican's work, which is a bunch of single, sexually repressed men working long hours together beneath the tantalizing temptation of forbidden love, because there is nothing sexier than someone being like, you can't have this. And then you're like, I'm definitely going to have this. Exactly. At least that's how I do it. I don't know. No, not now. I'm a committed man now, but in my past, in my younger life. This makes the church headquarters a gay magnet, to use Mader's words. The same year, other news broke about the constant harassment of gay priests on guards and other male Vatican employees. One guard reported that he was the target of more than 20 sexual requests. I don't know why I'm laughing, because it's not funny. It's sexual harassment, and it's not okay.
But you know why it's funny? It's because the same guard probably goes, hey, honey. I'm thinking of like a construction worker, like catcalling woman.
Yeah, oh yeah, sitting on the...
You want some of this dick?
Yeah. But I was there, and then they made any sexual advances on me. So the guard said that one night at dinner, the priest said to her, or one night at dinner, he was with several priests, and he said, as the spinach and steak were served, the priest said to me, and you're the dessert.
You're just gonna put you on the table.
And it was mortifying, and I couldn't handle it.
But this goes back to what I've always said, why straight men are so terrified, why some straight men are so terrified of gay guys, is because they're afraid of being treated the same way that they treat women.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to. I don't want a man yelling at me or looking at me or thinking I look, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're perfectly fine fucking doing it to some 16-year-old or, 17-year-old walking down the street.
Yep, absolutely. Right.
I get angry.
I know. Because it's bullshit.
Is it you or me?
It's your turn.
I'm smacking
smacking your cat.
I'm patting my cat. He's very needy.
Okay.
The tone of Mater's interview was certainly homophobic, despite his constant reassurance that he didn't have a problem with gay people. They're just... Did you hear how deep? Whoa! That was my voice, guys.
That's the manliest you've ever sounded.
I sounded like a country singer. I don't know what happened. They're just a security risk because I want to do them, and they always want special things when I want to do them.
There
he
goes
said.
Paul. He's ad-libbing. He's ad-libbing a lot. But it was true. The whole interview, he's just like, he's talking about how much of a security risk gay people are because he's like, they're just too loyal to their own, and so they're not going to be able to do their job properly. But I'm totally not homophobic. I don't care if they're gay. I don't have a problem with gay people. I can't hire them. I can't promote them, because, they're a security risk. Anyways.
And though we'd like to shrug off the accusations as merely another straight man's attempt to vent his frustrations about the fear of those terrible gays. That didn't make sense, but I'm just going to go.
Because I'm saying we'd like to shrug it off. There are centuries, because we'd like to say that he's just being a homophobe and, none of this is true. But the reality is, it is true.
Yeah. So, centuries of evidence would not allow us to dismiss the strong presence of homosexuality in the Vatican and the Church as a whole. As far back as the infamous St. Augustine, who around 380 AD wrote about his special friend as such.
Okay.
You want me to do it? I felt that my soul and his were one soul in two bodies, and therefore life was a horror to me, since I did not want to live as a half, and yet I was also afraid to die, lest he, whom I had loved so much, would completely die. Elsewhere, however, he claims to have contaminated the spring of friendship with the dirt of lust, and darkened its brightness with the blackness of desire. That dark hole.
A dark hole. Yeah, St. Augustine, maybe in the future we'll do a whole episode on him. There's a nice book I like. It's called Saints Behaving Badly. But
that's such a funny name.
It is, because it's fun, because it's all these people that are saints now that lived these awful lives before. And Augustine was very much a dick, and he was super gay, so gay. And then he all of a sudden flips and is gives his life to God, and then he becomes a whole asshole towards gay people and just lust in general. He targeted anybody who was having sex outside of marriage, but especially against gay people. And it's sad because he was just so
he was gay.
Yeah. So but that's just saying, all the way back, so 380 BC, the church is founded around 300. So, in the very earliest days of the church, you start having these rumors of gay priests. So, in the 11th century, the former monk and then Cardinal Peter Damian wrote an entire book titled The Book of Gomorrah to address the rampant homosexuality within the Catholic clergy. So, if you're familiar with the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, that's what it is. While Damien called for punishment and open condemnation, others felt that the problem was so large that such harsh penalties would effectively white out the clergy altogether. Look, I get that you're mad about it, but to be honest, Pete,
we've all sucked each other's dicks.
Yeah, if we just start kicking out all the homos, there's not going to be anybody left in the church. Recent studies estimate 30 to 40% of Catholic clergymen are gay or have indulged in homosexual acts and relationships. Despite the constant common knowledge that the Church and the Vatican are filled to the brim with homosexuals, the Church's outward stance remains a hard line against queer individuals acting on the flesh. It's almost as if the society wants the gays all to themselves. So the Church keeps being okay, fine. They're at this point now where okay, yes, we admit that there's gay people. You just can't have sex with each other. And it's... yeah.
So if this was a harmless group of men engaging in consensual orgies and hidden rendezvous like the Order of Charonia, we wouldn't care. But this isn't I'm saying it like a typical white American.
That's right.
Charonia, and that's how you say it, because that's how an American would say it, and we're the best. We're number one.
Whatever we say is exactly how the rest of the world should do it.
But this isn't the case. Just a few weeks ago, yet another story of a Catholic priest abuse broke. In the story were horrible instances of rape and sex slavery of Catholic nuns, as well as abuse of young priests by older clergymen. Archbishop Theodore McCarrick was a notable abuser of young of young seminary students. But rather than acknowledging their very gay society, the Vatican instead has pushed all their accusations of pedophilia onto their mostly blameless gay clergymen. If a Catholic priest, bishop, or leader comes out, they are suddenly scapegoated as one of the many child predators running rampant within the church.
So, yeah.
I'm sorry, but the gay clergymen more than likely aren't the ones using the nuns as sex slaves.
Exactly.
Just gonna put that out there.
Just gonna say that. Yeah, so it's kind of like, yeah, so like rather than be like, oh wow, we have pedophiles, we have rapists, and we also have gay men, they're like, the gay men are the pedophiles and the rapists.
Right.
And that's their way of punishing you for coming out as gay, because more Catholic priests have started to come out and say, hey, I'm gay.
Right.
You know I'm gay, and you know Bob's gay, and you know Joe's gay, and like
you caught us in the bathroom the other day.
In fact, you joined us in the bathroom the other day. So how about we just be honest about this and then move on? And instead, the Vatican is like, look, if you come out and start to make ways for us,
you're gonna go to the bottom of the bottom.
Exactly. We're gonna tell people that you're the pedophile. You know, and that's literally what they're saying. They're like, these gay men are the pedophiles, and that's why we're having these problems in the Catholic Church, rather than saying that they have two different issues. You have pedophiles that you need to fucking get out of your church, and you have gay men that you need to recognize as honorable clergymen that are fucking doing the job that they're supposed to do. But we haven't even got to the Vatican. So just a few days ago, French journalist Frédéric Martel's new book, Sodoma for Sodom, also titled The Closet of the Vatican, dropped in over 20 different countries. I cannot fucking wait to read this book.
Oh, I might need to even read
that.
You
need to read this book.
I don't even, read, but I mean,
think
this
you would
is
this book. Yeah, this is good. So the book claims that 80% of Vatican officials are gay. Journalist Frank Bruni of the New York Times wrote about the book, and he's a gay man writing about it. It contends that the more showily homophobic a Vatican official is, the more likely he belongs to that crowd. Well,
no shit.
No fucking shit. Nothing surprising there. And that the higher up the chain of command you go, the more gays you find. And not all of them are celibate. Not by a long shot. In a telephone interview on Thursday, Martel stressed that the 80% isn't his estimate, but that of a former priest at the Vatican whom he quotes by name in the book. But he presents that quotation without sufficient skepticism and in his own words writes, it's a big majority.
Bruni continues. He says that In the Closet of the Vatican is informed by about 1,500 interviews over 4 years and the contributions of scores of researchers and other assistants. I covered the Vatican for the Times for nearly 2 years, and the book has a richness of detail that's persuasive. It's going to be widely discussed and hotly debated. It depicts different sexual subcultures, including clandestine meetings between Vatican officials and young heterosexual Muslim men in Rome who work as prostitutes. It names names, and while many belong to Vatican officials and other priests who are dead or whose sexual identities have come under public scrutiny before, Martel also lavishes considerable energy on the suggestion that France's predecessor, Pope Benedict XVI, and other towering figures in the church are gay.
Yeah.
That's spicy.
Yeah, 1,500 interviews, 4 years of research, and Martel is not a Catholic, and he told Bruni, I don't have anything to, this isn't a revenge for me.
Right.
I'm not trying to get back at some Catholic priest that raped me when I was little.
Right.
I just did 4 years of research on this, and this is what I found. Perhaps the most vivid and double lives under Martel's gaze is that of Cardinal Alfonso Lopez Trujillo of Colombia, who died a little over a decade ago. According to the book, he prowled the ranks of seminarians and young priests for men to seduce and routinely hired male prostitutes, sometimes beating them up after sex. All the while, he promoted the church's teaching that all gay men are objectively disordered and embraced its ban on priests who are believed to have deep-seated homosexual tendencies.
I definitely, through the corner of my eye, I thought that said deep-throated homosexual tendencies.
That's
just how gay I am.
That too. They are believed to, whether they act on them or not. So in 2015, or 2005, the church officially came out and was like, if you have deep-seated homosexual tendencies, you cannot be a priest. So, centuries did, it's been going on where priests have, been gay and they've been acting on it. And then in 2005, rather than being like, oh, wow, okay, we're pretty fucking gay. They're like, no, if we can prove that you have tendencies, we're going to expel you from...
Probably because that's when all the shit started to come to light, that people were being raped and abused. So they were like, we need a fucking scapegoat. Let's figure this out.
Exactly. They're going to expel them. But you know who they're not expelling? The fucking pedophiles.
No, those people are just getting moved around to a different church so they can be pedophiles against a different group of children.
If
that's all that's
you're
happening.
gay, they can expel you from the church, expel you from the clergy. But if you're just a pedophile, they'll just move you to another school, home, orphanage where you can abuse more children.
Yep. Yeah. So the book is certain to make waves in the next few weeks. But will it make a difference? An advocate for Catholic Church abuse survivors, David Clohessy, told The Times, many priests have a huge disincentive to report sexual misdeeds by colleagues. They know they're vulnerable to being blackballed. It's celibacy and the secretive, rigid, ancient, all-male hierarchy that contributes to the cover-up and therefore more abuse. In truth, it seems that the leaders most accepting of homosexuals are actually straight, while those who are gay are the most vicious against the queer community. What the purpose behind the deliberate cognitive dissonance is, we cannot tell you. All we can say is the Vatican is gay as hell, and they're dangerous. This isn't the society you want to join, but maybe you would have been interested in the next one.
It's just very, I don't understand. I will just say that I don't get what, I can't figure out what the thing is, though. Well, how is the Vatican so gay? If the reporter is correct, 80% of the Vatican is gay. Mm-hmm. What are they gaining from being so outwardly anti-gay? That's what I can't figure out. Like, what? That's why you're a secret society, because what is it? What's your goal? What's your end game? Because you're not making fucking sense.
They're making so much money that maybe they just want to hold on to that religious church money. And
you think that's what it is?
You can stir up the crowds by being anti-gay. That's very big. Like, that's just like what Pence did. Like, you can stir up the crowds, you can get the money.
So you think it's like the worst humans, and some of the worst humans are gay because some of the best humans are gay. Like, that's just how life goes. Yep. So some of the worst humans, so if you're a gay person who happens to also be an awful person, you join the Vatican, where you can fuck all the men you want.
But say it's a horrible thing and collect the money.
And collect all the money and be wealthy and powerful as hell, because Vatican is very, very powerful, wealthy and powerful, and also you get it all. You get to have your cake and eat it too, literally. Yeah. Wow, just the worst institution. It's just, you'll never convince me that there is a worse institution than the Vatican. Like, I mean, right up there with Hitler's Third Reich. That's how awful they are. In fact, they were in bed with Hitler's Third Reich, so this is the worst fucking piece of shits.
Yeah.
So our last group is the Gay Mafia.
Hashtag Gay Mafia. Tweet it. See what happens. I wonder what would happen.
Oh, you're going to get a lot of far-right conservatives, following you. Because they're the ones who have created the Gay Mafia. Because it's just not...
It's not real.
It's not real. We're sorry, guys. We wanted to. I wanted to find.
We gotcha.
I wanted to find a bunch of rough gay Italian guys that prowl the streets, and I don't know what they're doing. They're running some kind of scams, but it's just not real. It's not real. A band of lesbians or something. Nothing.
On their motorcycles.
Exactly.
One's got a U-Haul in the back.
Hey, you owe Tony some money. She said you were gonna pay her. Yeah. Now it's time for you to pay up, buddy.
They just drive the U-Haul through the building. Sorry.
It's okay.
So, the myth of the Gay Mafia is a favorite fear tactic among the far right. Whenever humans choose to be...
Just read them.
Decent. Whenever humans choose to be decent and side in favor of queer rights, there's always some far-right pundit decrying the work of the Gay Mafia. But where did this idea even come from? In the book Homo Intern, How Gay Culture Liberated the Modern World, Arthur Gregory Woods traced the conspiracy back to Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, that's right, two founding fathers of the Communist Society. In the mid-19th century, the pair corresponded about the threat of pederasts, an antiquated term referring to men who had sex with younger men, since the word homosexual did not yet exist. Marx and Engels feared that pederasts would threaten the platonic friendship of gay men fighting for the cause of communism, and that budding romances might destroy communism for the public altogether.
Well, they were just afraid that if you got a bunch of guys together in a cause, that they might start fucking each other, and they're like, we got to make sure that this doesn't happen.
We have to be productive.
Right. We saw what happened in the Vatican, and we can't let it happen here. So it is true that many homosexuals of the late 1800s to mid-1900s did also have ties to communism. As this was a further left-leaning cause that claimed to champion freedom for all, it is no wonder that the party was appealing. But of course, the Lavender Scare that swept through the world at the same time only exaggerated the amount of homosexuals involved in Marxism and communism. And around this time, the idea of the homo intern came along. The term was allegedly coined as a joke, taking an inspiration from the communist term common intern, an abbreviation of the Communist International Organization founded in the 1910s. Gregory Woods, the author, says it was most likely invented as a wordplay referring to a disorganized and informal network of gay men who fraternized in the 1930s. Mm-hmm. So it was the homo interns or the gay mafia of the 1930s, this mysterious group sneaking around like those old movies you see.
Oh my god, those
This
creepy...
man standing on the corner watching you boys play basketball.
Watching Little Billy. He is going to ask Little Billy if he would like a ride.
Exactly. You could watch old FBI propaganda videos that, like, show gay men, like, supposed gay men, like, walking around parks and then following this little boy down the beach and through a tunnel.
Yeah, literally through a tunnel.
Which, why the fuck Bobby decided to go run down by the beach and through a tunnel? What the hell, Bobby? Like, run on the main street.
Right? That's bad parenting. Teach your children that
Exactly.
if someone's chasing them, they should run towards the public and scream at the top of their lungs.
Exactly. Don't run to a deserted tunnel in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of a beach. Why is there a tunnel in the beach?
I don't know. Very weird propaganda videos. Check them out on YouTube. They're a lot of fun.
So in the 1950s, at the height of the Lavender Scare in America, so by the way, when I saw home intern, I thought homo intern, I just like pictured a gay man and like a really like a nice little apron. Excuse me, sir, can I get your coffee for you? And he's like walking around like he's very, very like slim.
And like, oh wow, that's free.
Typing on his little
intern.
typing on the computer. There's no computers. Typing on the typewriter. Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure at the Vatican they have several homo interns.
Oh, I'm sure they're all naked.
Yeah.
So, at the height of the Lavender Scare, the Comintern entered Cold War discussions, being used now by conspiracy theorists that exploited its communist association and claim it referred to a long-standing international homosexual conspiracy across the country. The Comintern's one goal was to penetrate, of course, is anybody surprised?
They're here to penetrate us. They're here to get deep down inside us.
In our guts.
Your most invulnerable parts. Where's the darkest part of you? That's where they're going, inside.
In the brown eye. So their one goal was to penetrate positions in the American government and usurp traditional usurp traditional American values of family and heterosexuality. If you go back and listen to episodes 9 and 10 of our podcast, we cover the Lavender Scare extensively.
Check it out.
But in addition to this national paranoia, the country also saw the budding of the gay civil rights movement, which meant more queer individuals were coming out in public, which in turn allows conspiracy theorists to announce, see, the gay mafia does in fact exist.
So they're going around, they're like, hey, there's all these gay people, and we're telling you there's gay people, and the American public's like, there's no gay people, I don't see any gay people. That back in my day, we didn't have any gay people. But at the same time, the people like the Madison Society, which was also considered a secret society until they became out openly, like Harry Hayes, and they're like, look, we're going to come out, we're going to be out and proud, and all of a sudden, like, people like Joseph McCarthy and others can be like, see, we told you, there's these gay people, and then they exist, and there's a conspiracy, and they're going to turn us all gay. And so, the stories and the idea of the gay mafia, which is also at the time, of Al Capone and the real mafia, and they're like kind of blended together, and they're like, see, the gay mafia is real. So while there has never actually been a gay mafia, and we truly, truly wish that there was, I wish that there was, you'll never convince the far right of anything else. When the news broke last summer of Cardinal McCarrick's sexual abuse, the guy mentioned in the previous story who was sleeping with all the, blackmailing all the seminary students to sleep with him, LifeSite News reported, The insidious influence of the church's gay mafia are now so extensive that bishops, cardinals, and even the Pope seem to cower in fear before the infestation of effeminate perverts who have co-opted and hijacked the church's institution. The abominating desolation of their filth is now openly on display throughout the church, from the halls of the Holy See to the chanceries of diocese to the innumerable gay-friendly parishes that pander to the spiritual self-destruction of their hapless clientele.
And in response to Kevin Hart stepping down from the Oscars completely of his own accord and due to his stubborn refusal to acknowledge the pain over his past homophobic comments, one blogger wrote, "Despite those who would wish us to believe that the so-called gay mafia doesn't exist, Hart's resignation puts the lie to this daffy notion. Gays are effectively the Jews of sexuality, a tiny minority that wields power far beyond its numbers, especially in Hollywood."
Yeah, it's just where you.
That was like three most insulting sentences that could be
I know they
put
can be strung together, right? We'll read a couple other instances, but it's just constant. Every time something goes wrong, and I grew up hearing this, it was the gay mafia, and people truly believe. Like my parents are very convinced that there is a gay mafia. I want to say all about Kevin Hart's thing, which has been in the past. We never really talked about it because we were going through it just didn't happen. It didn't break into time when we were really doing an episode. So when Kevin Hart first, when things came out that he wasn't going to, about his past homophobic comments, which I've heard because I followed his comedy for a long time and I knew he had said those things. At first I was like, look, let the guy evolve, let him grow and move on past this. He never apologized. And honestly, just me personally, I didn't need the apology. But what got me when I finally was all set with him was when they came to him and someone interviewed and they're like, look, we understand you've grown past that, but what we need is an ally now. Mm-hmm. We need you to be an ally. And Kevin Hart was like, it's never been my life stream to be an LGBTQ ally. And I was like, really, dude? Mm-hmm. It has to be your life stream to be a fucking
all you have to do is say, I support. I'm literally all you don't have to start campaigns and fundraisers. You just
what do you fucking mean? It has to be your live stream. I'm an ally of the people of color. It doesn't really take much from me.
Other than being a decent person.
Yeah, you just have to be a fucking decent human being that says, "Hey, I support this." When he said that, it was this isn't about you not wanting to be an ally. You don't want to be an ally.
Right. You're very
This
clear.
isn't that you think it takes that much work. You just don't want to be an ally, and you don't have the balls to come out and say that you don't want to be an ally.
Right.
That's why you've never apologized, truly apologized, and that's why you, rather than saying, look, I'm sorry, and let's move on, he stepped down from hosting the Oscars so that he could throw a fit and be like, people are mad at me because I said something in the past, and I can't be honest about my feelings.
Yep.
That's when I was all set with him, and that's sad because I really liked him as a comedian, and I had a lot of respect for him in a lot of areas, but dude, fucking own up to who you are. Mm-hmm. Anyways, but this is about the gay mafia. Here I go with my old gay mafia style. So one of the biggest so-called bombshells came from comedian Adam Carolla in 2014 when he told Milan Magazine, and this proved that there was a gay mafia. You can't live in Hollywood and get along in this business and be in theater companies and improv companies and have issues with gay people. My last movie, I did a boxing movie called The Hammer, and the director was gay. If you can't work with gay people, you're gonna have a difficult time in Hollywood. There's plenty of gay people, and they're in positions above you. You're not going to get your movie directed. They just turned into a mafia and demanding everyone apologize for every joke and retract every statement. He said a lot of other stuff, too.
I can't be completely discriminative towards these people because, oh my god, they're actually in positions where they have influence.
Yeah, right.
So, but if they didn't have positions of influence, I would just tell them what they are. They're fucking beep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's we're the mafia because we actually are we have positions of power because some gay people are in positions of power. A whole fucking lot of straight people are in positions of power. He said a lot of other stuff. He's a big asshole. That's just a thing where he was like, yeah, the gay mafia is real, and that was it. The right was like, see, after all these years, it's proof.
Gay people work. That's proof.
Yeah, that's proof that it's a mafia and it's a conspiracy against the right.
Because us straight people can't say whatever we want to say and be homophobic.
Pretty soon, they're going to have all the straight people in concentration camps. And we're all going to have to be atheists. And that's where America is going.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
It's you.
And that was it, kids. After 100 years, that was the proof of the gay mafia. It was enough to fuel the flames of the right, and the gay mafia has been solidified as a definitive entity in the minds of conservatives ever since. Used in everyday discussions such as Rush Limbaugh's popular radio show. In 2015, when gay marriage was legalized, he stated, 3.5 years ago... Wait. 3.5 years ago, and every year prior to that, Barack Obama opposed gay marriage. And you know why? Because of his Christian religious beliefs. And he was open about it. And he ran for office. And so did Hillary Clinton. And so did Bill Clinton. And then the Hollywood gay mafia threatened him with the loss of campaign dollars.
It was good. It was
that
good.
Was really
very
good.
Angry old white man.
Did you like the cough in there?
I did. So... Today, you can't listen to or read anything in conservative news without the mention of the gay mafia. When they speak of queer issues, everybody is talking about it. It's constant. And sadly, there's no basis. Though if there was a real connection between the mafia and the gays, then maybe it stems from the mafia's control of underground gay bars in the mid-1900s. Philip Crawford explores this avenue in his book, The Mafia and the Gays. Maybe there is a fantastic group of homos running around out there with gay men in a variety of wide-brimmed hats and fancy carnations and sexy lesbians in pinstripe suits with Tommy guns with a dame by their side. We can only dream, Christians.
Yep, and they've got, like, you know when they walk around with baseball bats, but they're, like, bedazzled?
You know what? That would hurt, motherfucker.
It would hurt.
You get hit with that, that's going to leave a lot of marks. It would probably be like the equivalent
of a fucking nail, because it's fucking...
It would, yeah. Like, pink bedazzled, diamonds all up.
Fucking heels walking.
Queen, bitch. Yeah, exactly.
Got my fucking money?
That's right, bitch. You said they got like a nice...
Mary, fucking get his ass. Fucking get his ass, Mary.
That's right. The gay mafia is coming for you. And when they're done with you, you're going to look a hell of a lot better, but also you're going to pay up. So that's the extent of our so-called secret societies. It's the best that we have for you. There were a lot of groups that were formed by gay men, but they were all like... Hey, we're gay.
Yeah, just quick little things.
They were quick, and they were usually because they didn't have any other way to meet. So
right.
But again, they didn't do anything. It wasn't like the Illuminati or the Knights Templar.
It was just groups of men meeting in private and called themselves a secret society.
Exactly.
Basically.
They were a group
They
of
gave
men.
themselves a name.
They sipped on drinks and they fucked each other, which is, I mean, that's what a lot of secret societies do, to be fair. But it didn't quite have. I was hoping for a Freemasons thing.
Yeah, something.
But there was a guy named Rhodes that started a secret society that was gonna change the democracy of the world, and he was gay, but the society wasn't gay. Just not quite enough. But these are a couple of issues. So now you know there's no such thing as a gay mafia, because if you've ever wondered, the Vatican is
gay as fuck. And
Charachnia. They've got open initiation, so as long as you're willing to do anything, and
just
you have to
don't
be willing...
eat for 2 days before you go to the initiation. Otherwise,
no
you're
Indian food.
It's gonna be a mess.
Mexican food. Keep yourself nice and clear.
Saltines and water for 2 days.
That's right, and then you will be ready to go through that initiation process and become part of the order of the
Charachnia.
Maybe the initiation is just being able to say the name correctly.
They're like, all right, can you fucking say it? Out. You're not in.
Nope. So, anyways, Christians, we hope that you have enjoyed this episode. Make sure you check us out on
YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, everywhere.
All of our social media. We'll be dropping other mini-sodes infrequently throughout the next couple of weeks as we try to stay more in touch with you guys. We can't be quite as active on social media. Make sure, if you can, go to our Patreon page. We really, really could use the support right now to help get some more things done. And you remember your recommended resource, which is Michael Hone. He's got a lot of good information, like little books on queer history. Again, mostly gay male history, but there's some other things. Check him out. Anything that you want to add?
No, that's it.
That's it. So, stay
Start
clear.
a secret society.
Yeah, start a secret society.
And invite us.
And do something interesting, like dominate the world, or...
But make sure we're invited.
Yeah, absolutely. And if there's one thing you want in your secret society, it's a bunch of podcast hosts because we never tell anyone.
We would never tell anyone about your secret society or anything about it. I promise.
Absolutely not. Next episode, our secret society. So
stay queer.
Don't get a lobotomy.
You succulent sapphist.
We love you, our little allied hookers.
And goodbye.
Bye.